What's up, guys? So, in continuation of the series I started a few days ago, tagged five challenges Eric Chelle needs to address to turn around Nigeria's fortune in the World Cup qualification log. So, today I'll be talking about two things. Number one, the fullback situation. Yes, unlike other situations that we have, like the DM and the attacking midfield situation, a lot of people are not aware that we also have somewhat of a situation with the fullback. I'll be talking about that expansively. Then secondly, I'll be talking about the attacking midfield situation. It's an eternal problem. It's been going on for years, if not for decades. So two things, the fullback situation and the attacking midfield situation. See you soon. Managers world over typically have a winning formula, and they love to adhere to this winning formula without having to necessarily deviate from what has worked for them over the past years. For Eric Chelle, going by his precedence, he loves to play a back four. And whenever a manager chooses to play a back four, there's a whole lot of dependence and reliance on the fullbacks. Now, talking about the fullbacks with respect to the Super Eagles, we have a problem with one of the fullbacks. It's not the right fullback, it's the left fullback. What is the problem we have? Now let's talk about the options we have in the left fullback before I talk about the problems that we have with the left fullback. Lately we've been using Bruno Oyemaechi, and in a few years ago or a few months ago, I should say, we were deploying Zaidou Sanusi as a left fullback. Once in a while, sparingly, we see Calvin Bassey assume the role of a left fullback as well. So it's safe to say we have just three options at left fullback. Let me say three tested options at left fullback. But lately we've been using more of Bruno Oyemaechi, and I'm going to start my analysis with Bruno Oyemaechi. Bruno Oyemaechi, fantastic left fullback, is proven to be one of the bright sparks in the Super Eagles of late. However, for all his enterprising displays, for all his energetic runs, for all his prompt tracking back and everything, there's still one vital thing missing in his game, and that is the inability to make quality crosses. When coaches decide to rely on fullbacks to make offensive transitions, in the team, they expect the fullback to have quality final balls. So Bruno Oyemaechi has proven over time that he can actually get into the opposition box. He can actually beat, the opposition right back, but he has a problem with his final ball. And that's the reason why we've suffered a little bit creatively in the final third of the opposition half in the past few games that we've played. So because of that, Eric Chelle might want to consider two things. Number one, he needs to work with Bruno Oyemaechi and see if he can actually improve his final balls into the opposition final third, or he might as well explore the option of Calvin Bassey. Yes, Calvin Bassey is typically known to be a centre back, especially with Premier League side Fulham. However, I've had a couple of discussions with some of the players, and Calvin Bassey actually confessed to a preference for the left back. He's a very restless player. He doesn't like just staying still without moving around, and he's got the ability to make very good final balls. So because of that, I would probably suggest to Eric Chelle to try a back four that has Calvin Bassey as left fullback. With Calvin Bassey on the left side of the defense, it would give us something going forward. And definitely there are very few players that can actually beat Calvin Bassey one-on-one. He loves his one-on-one duels. He's never going to back down. So we are assured of defensive solidity if we have Calvin Bassey playing as left fullback. And we also have the hope of good final balls when he goes forward in offensive transitions. So now you might want to ask, if Chelle ever decides to move Calvin Bassey from centre back to left back, so who's going to be the most appropriate option to pair William Troost-Ekong at centre back? Now we've had several options like Gabriel Osho most recently. And in time past, we've had players like Kevin Akpoguma and Jordan as well. But for me, because of the proximity of the next set of games and the crucial nature of these games, it's not exactly advisable to try out relatively newbies. It's always safer to go with players that have been tested and are trusted. Players like Leon Balogun definitely comes to mind. Semi Ajayi is another option, but because of Semi Ajayi's recent injury, is actually, out of the way. So that leaves us with just Leon Balogun. Leon Balogun brings to the team not just immense wealth of experience, he also brings this air of calmness. It's going to take something extraordinary for Leon Balogun to make blunders at centre back, because he's very, very calm. And that is where I have an issue with Calvin Bassey. It's always better for you to move vulnerable players away from the core of the box 18. He is relatively allowed, so to speak, to make mistakes or blunders at the left side. We can still get away with it. But when players that are so vulnerable, that are as vulnerable as Calvin Bassey, make mistakes, at the core of the box 18, it's always very disastrous. So apart from Calvin Bassey having the ability to make good crosses and quality final balls, another reason for the preferred movement from centre back to left back, it reduces his vulnerability to blunders that would cost the team. So Leon Balogun brings to the team an air of calmness such that he's able to complement the hot-headedness of William Troost-Ekong. Besides that, William Troost-Ekong is proven to be very exceptional aerially. He attacks crosses both in his own box and in the opposition box. So Balogun does not have any problem pairing with Ekong because they've got a long history of understanding. So to complement Ekong's aerial dexterity, Balogun brings this calmness, this steadiness on ground, and he's so intelligent that he's able to read or sniff dangers even before it actually happens. So for me, I would say a back four of Ola Aina, William Troost-Ekong, Leon Balogun and Calvin Bassey would be a very formidable back four for Nigeria going forward in the next set of games. The next challenge I will be analyzing, which is the number 3 in the series of 5 different challenges, would be the attacking midfield challenge that we have. This particular problem is not actually a new one. It's been very enduring. It's been there for almost forever. The last time we had a proper DM would probably be JJ Okocha. We tried to improvise ever since the exit of Okocha using several other players, but to no avail, I would say. So it's been a problem that's been sitting there for a very long time. So now more than ever, we would actually be needing a number 10, because going by Eric Chelle's philosophy, he likes to play a number 10. He loves to play his 4-2-1-3 with that number 10 having a free role, to bounce between the lines and connect the midfield to the attack. So now more than ever, Chelle will be desperate to, deploy a number 10. And that's one of the biggest problems of Nigeria, and it's been a very big problem for a very long time. So how Chelle would solve this problem in just 3 weeks remains to be seen. Now, what options do we have in number 10? We've had the likes of Alexi Iwobi being deployed there. Also, lately, we've had Fisayo Dele Bashiru being deployed there as well. But I would say neither of these two is a number 10. At best, Dele Bashiru, I'll call him FDB, is a central midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder. He's not that type of a player that would give you the vibe of a number 10. And he's got so much energy, so much industry, so much pace, so much work rate that you can't afford to waste all of those attributes in the attacking end of the opposition half. You need him to bring such attributes to help out in the midfield. As a result of that, for me personally, we still do not have a number 10 in FDB. It needs to be brought back to form a double pivot with an established DM. If we have a very workaholic DM as a number 4 and have Dele Bashiru as a central midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder bouncing back and forth, trust me, we're going to have a very, very formidable midfield that will be very difficult to penetrate. So with Dele Bashiru out of the way, what other options do we have to fill in the number 10 void? Of course, we've been playing Alex Iwobi there as well, and he's done well. Both Alex Iwobi and Dele Bashiru are actually improvised number 10s. They are not the kind of number 10 that we can rely on, especially when we play very sophisticated teams. So, for me personally, because of the proximity of the time, we need to improvise again, because we can't even afford to go on F and a brand new number 10 and throw him into such crucial games as the match games. So due to the crucial nature of these games, we have to just try as much as possible to maximize the resources that we have one way or the other. And that brings me to an option in Ademola Lookman. Personally, and this is my own personal opinion, I feel Ademola Lookman will do a very decent job as a number 10, playing just behind the front three of Osimhen, probably Alex Iwobi from the left, and the last is what. So the next one would be, the next issue I'll be talking about is the right side of the attack. So I don't want to mention the name now, but Ademola Lookman would actually be a very decent makeshift number 10 playing behind the front three. Now, what are the attributes of a number 10? A number 10 is expected to have exceedingly brilliant vision to break lines, to break opposition lines. Alex Iwobi has got this particular attribute, but his best position remains a second striker or a left-sided forward. So because of that, we will not be maximizing the potential or the skills or the skill sets of Alex Iwobi if we keep deploying him as a number 10. He's going to do at best a decent job, but it's not exactly going to be that dream number 10 that will break lines for you. He's not going to do that. So with Lookman playing behind the number 9 as a number 10, as a connector between the double pivot and the number 9, it's going to assure you one thing. It's going to guarantee you one thing. Lookman is going to break lines because he's got very, very good skill sets with his feet on the ball. Lookman is going to guarantee you those depth final passes to his number 9. And Lookman is going to guarantee you such vision that would probably unlock very tough defenses, because trust me, in the next few weeks, in the next few games, most of the teams we will be playing would actually pack the bus. And when you have teams that are condemned to packing the bus against the Nigerian side, then you need more than players that can just pass the ball around. You need players with great vision. You need players of utmost intelligence that are able to have the capacity to break the lines. So out of all the options that we have in Lookman, in Alex Iwobi, in Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Lookman stands out as the best number 10 out of the trio. Yes, having talked about 3 of the 5 challenges facing Eric Chelle in his bid to ensuring qualification of Nigeria to the next Mundial, number 1 being the issue of incompetent DMs. Number 2 being the need for a better replacement for Bruno. And number three being the eternal problem of a lack of a quality attacking midfielder. Just on a side note, with regards to what happened lately to the possibility, as at this time is not yet signed and sealed, the possibility of what's it called, Boniface to join the team at Saudi Arabia. I've had a few people ask me what I think about the potential move. For me, I do not like to peddle with people's personal choices, right? If he feels moving to Saudi would benefit him career-wise and financially, then go for it by all means. Who am I to even criticize it? Because everybody's got his own hustle, right? He's got his own shoes. He's the one wearing his shoes. I don't know where it pinches, right? So it's not befitting for me to talk about it. Whatever he chooses to do with his career, I wish him the best of luck. Whatever he does, he should just try as much as possible to make sure his form does not dip, because that's the end goal at the end of the day. If his form dips, then it's going to affect his market value. It's going to affect his chances of regaining a spot in the national team. So whatever you feel is right for you, Boniface, go for it, buddy, by all means possible. Now, before I leave, I need to emphasize and stress the need for you to support my channel by subscribing. There's a lot of people watching it, but very few are subscribing. So I beg you again, try as much as possible to ditch the habits of procrastination. Just as soon as you're done, just hit the subscribe button, like, comment as well. I always like hearing from you guys. Looking forward to talking to you in the next set of episodes. See you around. Bye.